Hi everyone. Today we are going to learn carbon compound. Okay, so before we go deep into the chapter, let's learn the basics of carbon compound, and we go deep into the molecules that are in this chapters. Okay, so let's begin. All right. Okay, what is carbon compound? Okay, carbon compound, we can divide them into two, which is organic compounds and inorganic compounds. So how do we differentiate them? Okay, organic compounds are compounds that we can find in living things. Okay, in other words, organic compounds, they originate from living things. Okay, example like plants, animals, and even from human. Okay, and it contains carbon and hydrogen bonds. Okay, so for example, like petrol, sugar, some types of polymers, okay, and so much more. All right. Inorganic compounds are compounds from mineral sources. Okay, so they don't have hydrogen atoms bonded to the carbon. So they have, like example, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, calcium carbonate, and so much more. Okay, these organic compounds, they are actually all around us in our daily life. For example, sugar that we eat every day, starch from potatoes, okay, cellulose, and glycogen. Okay, these are all we call organic compounds. Okay, inorganic compounds, as I mentioned previously, like calcium carbonates, they are from mineral sources. Okay, so what is actually organic compound? Okay, organic compound, there are two types. One, we call them hydrocarbons. Okay, later we will look into the hydrocarbon molecules. Okay, these hydrocarbon molecules, you can see here, the name itself, from the name itself, it's called hydrocarbon. Means it contains only carbon and hydrogen atoms. Hydro is for hydrogen and carbon is for carbon lah. Okay, so they contain only carbon and hydrogen atoms. Okay, and these hydrocarbons, we also have two types, which one we call saturated hydrocarbons and another one is unsaturated hydrocarbons. So in this chapter, you will study on these two hydrocarbons particularly, and also some other molecules which we call them non-hydrocarbons. Okay, non-hydrocarbons, if they contain carbon, they contain hydrogen, and they contain other substance also, other atoms also, like oxygen, nitrogen. Simple example, alcohol. Okay, alcohol is non-hydrocarbon because they contain carbon, hydrogen, and also oxygen. Okay. All right. So these are some examples in our daily life. Protein. Okay, protein. The composition of protein, it contains carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen. So you have carbon, hydrogen. These are hydrocarbon atoms, right? But they also have nitrogen and oxygen. So they are called non-hydrocarbon. Okay. Petrol, on the other hand, we have carbon and hydrogen only. So they are called hydrocarbon. Okay. Starch here, we have carbon, we have hydrogen, we also have oxygen. Okay, we have oxygen in starch, so they are called non-hydrocarbon. All right, fats. Okay, fat contains carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, similar to starch, so they are non-hydrocarbon. Okay, natural gas, they contain carbon and hydrogen only, so they are hydrocarbon. Very good. And alcohol, as I mentioned previously, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. So they are called non-hydrocarbon. Okay, so let's just look at the organic compounds in our life. Okay. Okay, so you can see here. Okay, they have given us a few objects, and we have organic compounds here and non-organic compounds here. So let's go and have a look at that. Okay, so we're going to try one object here. Okay, So I have selected sugar. Okay, I've selected sugar. Now what are we going to do? We are going to drag and drop it to see the molecular structure. Okay, you can see here. Okay, this is actually table sugar, the sugar that we use every day. They are called the sucrose molecule. Okay, this molecule here represents the structure of sucrose. Sorry, it falls under the biological molecules category of organic compound, as these are naturally occurring molecules. Okay, good job. So if I say I take a ball here, okay, so it contains helium gas, which is not organic. Okay, so let's choose another one, which is organic here. Let's see here, water. Oh, water is not an organic compound. Okay, so we choose that. Let's take this. Okay, so we've selected a bottle of vinegar. Okay, so I'm going to drag and drop it here. See, vinegar. Okay, vinegar is actually called acetic acid. Okay, or sometimes you see them as butanoic acid. Okay, this molecule here represents the structure of acetic acid. It falls under the category of substituted hydrocarbons in organic compounds, as the simple hydrocarbon chain is substituted with a carboxyl. Okay, let's see one more. This one. Okay, so this is butane gas. Okay, it's in the cylinder. This is usually used as a cooking gas. Okay, especially when you go for camping and all. Okay, it's a portable gas stove. Okay, so let's look at the molecular structure. We're going to click and drop it here. Okay, so this molecule actually represents the structure of butane. Here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon. Okay, it falls under hydrocarbon. Why hydrocarbon? Because it contains only carbon and hydrogen atoms. Okay, right? So what do we get from here? Organic compound, we have 3 types here, okay, which are hydrocarbon, just now we looked at. The other one is called non-hydrocarbon, okay, which is biological molecule, okay. All right, let's go and assess the knowledge here, okay. What we have learned today, we're going to look at a few molecules, and let's try to see and identify whether they are hydrocarbon or not. Okay, so let's look at this. The first one, you are given fructose. Okay, so look at this fructose here. You see carbon, yes. Oxygen, yes. Hydrogen, okay, yes, there are 3 here. So can it be hydrocarbon? No, right? Okay, so fructose is actually a type of sugar. So it is similar to the sugar that we saw just now. So it's a biological molecule. Okay, so fructose actually we get it from a natural source. Okay. All right. Let's move forward. Okay, let's have a look at this. Methane. Okay, methane contains carbon and also hydrogen. Okay, so what are they? Yes, hydrocarbon. Right. Okay, so it is a simple hydrocarbon where 1 carbon and 4 hydrogen. Okay, let's move forward. All right, we have acetone. Okay, acetone here you can see they have carbon, they have hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, see the red one here is the oxygen. So can it be hydrocarbon? No, it cannot be hydrocarbon. Okay, so is it a substituted hydrocarbon? Yes. Okay, because it contains oxygen. Okay, so it's substituted hydrocarbon since the carbon chain is substituted with an oxygen atom. Okay, good job. Let's move forward. Okay, we have glucose here. Glucose is similar to the sugar that we saw previously. So there's carbon, hydrogen, and you can see the red ones, which are the oxygens. So what are they? They are similar to the sugar, right? So they are biological molecule. Okay, this is from natural sources. Okay, because we can get from plants. All right, good job. Let's move. Okay, we have pentane here. Okay, so pentane here, you can see they have 5 carbons and hydrogens all over. Okay, so they are what type? Hydrocarbon. Very good. Okay, this contain only carbon and hydrogen atoms. Okay, good job, everyone. All right. So what we can conclude here is that we have looked into hydrocarbons, okay, and substituted hydrocarbons, but most of the time we call them non-hydrocarbons, okay. In some books you can see them as substituted hydrocarbons, but most of the time we call them as non-hydrocarbons, okay. So hydrocarbons are organic compound that contains carbon and hydrogen atoms only, where non-hydrocarbons are compounds that contains other atoms as well. So you have carbon, you have hydrogen, you have oxygen, then they are non-hydrocarbon. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you so much. I hope you've learned something. Take care. Bye-bye.